Yo, what's the dealio, y'all? So, I wanted to chop up game with y'all about using self love as the key to surviving supposedly this economic meltdown, this social meltdown, this socio economical uh, meltdown, just all the crazy stuff that's happening within society, blacks versus whites, vaxxed versus unvaxxed, men versus women, all these little silly things, mask versus no mask, things of that nature. But self love is one of the key proponents, I believe, that will excel and enhance all of us, especially the younger generation, of course. Now, most people probably already know what it is that I'm about to chop it up with you about. Um, I think I didn't know it to the fullest degree, and I didn't have two things I didn't have. I didn't have self love, and I didn't have a strong mind. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to break my mental down. You know what I mean? Well, it has been. I'm getting stronger, but it has been, and I think that's why I delved toward the psychedelics, the entheogenics, because they helped me see what the problem was. You know, and uh, always letting one people break down my psyche, play these little mind games, has severely crippled my progression in life. But at the end of the day, it's still my fault. You know what I mean? So, that being said, also validation, man. I want to chop it up about that, but self love, man, is the key. I feel like to get out of this thing, because you see, many of us, why do we dress? You know what I mean? Like, why do we go out to the clubs? Why do we go out to the parties? Why do we do what we do? Why do we take baths? Why do we do all this stuff, right? Like, why do we do this? You know, many times it's maybe to impress the opposite sex. Maybe it's to fit in with society. Maybe it's to look cool. Maybe it's to be intimidating. But rarely can many of us say we just do it for ourselves. Like if you were the last person on the world, on the planet, you know, like what would you do? Like, would you still do what it is that you do? Would you still carry yourself how you carry yourself? You know what I mean? Or would it just go away? Would it just disappear? And that's why we're in this pandemic and there's a lot of mental health problems. Like a lot of people going through mental health problems, a lot of suicide going on and things of that nature. Because we all valued this life, this life instead of this engine that has given us all of this ground, but cold, this thing that's going around has destroyed that, and so now we had all of our eggs in that one basket as to what we thought life was, but it has destroyed it for many people. And why was that? Because we didn't have self love. We didn't have self love. And what is self love? People always say, love yourself, but it's so vague. How do you love yourself? And I figured it out. You know what I mean? You probably figured it out. But everything that you do, you have to love to do it. And it has to be just for you. You know what I mean? So when you take a bath, you gotta love that bath. You gotta want to smell good. When you put that oil on you, when you shave your face, when you wash your hair, when you brush your teeth, when you wash your clothes, it has to be, regardless if you go into a place and no one likes you, no one cares about you, the world doesn't even know you exist. It's not about them, it's about you. It's about, are you happy with it? That's what keeps you going. When this whole world is in chaos and fire, you're still going around and you're dressing good, you're smelling good, you're talking good, you're presenting yourself to the world extremely well. Why? Because you love you. And this is the key to surviving this pandemic. Because if you can love you, then it's almost like an invisible force field that allows for you to just go and do things and develop a tough skin. But you're developing this tough skin because you love yourself. It's not because you trained yourself to be resilient. You trained yourself to love yourself no matter what everybody else is doing and or thinking about you. And you see, a lot of us, include myself, we're secretly seeking the validation of certain people. For many of us, it's people of the opposite sex. So if they critique us in a bad manner, or they laugh at us, or they make fun of us, or they make us feel inadequate about ourselves, it fucks us up. But once one loves themselves, once one just do everything for themselves, it's like, bro, it's like you can't be stopped. You can't be stopped. So the key to this thing is self-love. And what made me really peep this shit, though, is, like I said, you probably already know, this is probably old news, but I used to take a lot of entheogenic psychedelics. But what really helped, the psychedelic that really helped me out, because I would take a lot of trips and have a lot of experiences, but we stay in this society, and in this society is very stressful and anxiety ridden. You don't believe me? Go to Walmart around 2 or 3 o'clock. It is freaking hectic. Yeah, a lot of shit going on, a lot of energies. And energy is contagious. Energy is contagious, man. You can be around people and not speak, but you absorb their energy. You absorb their mannerisms, the way they think, that what they're going through, because we're energetic beings. You know what I mean? But you get on the freeway, people behind you driving fast, cutting you off, honking, blowing, giving you dirty looks. There's just a lot of shit going on. So we stay in this society, bro. And in this society, it's so stressful, everything we're doing. So you gotta rush and do shit. I used to have people used to tell me, well, I have a bad memory, but I don't have a bad memory. I just real nervous. And so the entheogenics, I went on a lot of experiences and they helped, but they didn't really push me and catapult me into greatness. But what helped me out was the cannabis, and homegrown cannabis, not those stuff that's on the streets, because a lot of the stuff that's on the street, it is like too strong. A lot of time, everybody's worried about the highest 30% THC. That's a high, bro. That's extremely. It's so high you can't even freaking. It's like, man, it's too much, you know. But just regular, organically grown, regular cannabis, and the feminized energy within the cannabis does what feminine energy does, right? Feminine energy, the true, authentic feminine energy, allows for you to relax and unwind, and it builds you, and it makes you feel comfortable, and it makes you just want to smile and laugh and be yourself, and slow down and enjoy and make love to whatever it is you're doing. Make love to that book that you're reading. You know what I mean? Make love to those clothes that in which you're washing, the food that in which you're making. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. Like, I was just thinking about this shit, and the cannabis helped me slow down. And then when it helped me slow down, I could actually open up the files, all the experiences that in which I experienced on these entheogenic compounds and psychedelic compounds, and actually say, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. This is why I'm doing this and I'm doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect, man. I never said I was perfect. A lot of people, they think I'm perfect because, I'm so fly, I look so good, I'm the shit, but I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? And this should help me unwind and just open up these files and just read them and look at them and just evaluate myself, take me out of my body and look at myself from the standpoint of the universe. You know what I mean? And see what the hell I'm doing. See myself. See how valuable I am, how good I am, maybe how bad I am, my bad traits and or my good traits. So and in doing this, found greatness, and that's self-love. Self-love is very, very powerful because you don't need much. You know what I mean? It's hard to get control. It's hard for you to lose in life when you love yourself, but that's the most valuable thing that should be taught. Self-love. Loving, like I say, loving to bathe, loving to cook that food, loving to go to that gym and get your body right, loving to look good, regardless if it's for the opposite sex. Maybe you want to fit in with a certain, social group, but just loving to just love yourself. You know what I mean? Loving to just be a beautiful being. Whether you're 5, 10, 20, 30, 80, 90, just love and being appreciative of the body that in which you receive. I was chopping it up. I wanted to talk about validation, man. Hurt people, you know what I mean? And if you're seeking validation from certain individuals that are hurt, they're going to try their hardest to hurt you. And that's what I've been doing for a while. Trying to seek the validation of people, and they're never going to ever give you the benefit of the doubt. You're never going to get the validation of certain people, because what they hold valuable and what you hold valuable are two different things. You're going to be chasing that validation forever. You know what I mean? So, and I hate to admit it, but I think men need validation from women. And I also think that women need validation from men. And that's it. And if we don't do it, then there could be catastrophic effects. Now, I'm not saying need, but it helps out a lot, a hell of a lot. You know what I mean? I recently started training certain clients, and I didn't realize how, because what I do, training is it's simple, right? But I guess there's so much more to it. And some of the clients in which I was training, they just showed so much appreciation for me that it made me just look at myself like, wow, the quality of a person that in which I'm training wants and needs and loves and likes my service. It's like, wow. And sometimes you need that validation from the opposite sex, and it helps you out buku a lot. And like I said, I hate to admit it, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? Because you like to think as a man that you're just all strong and sturdy. You don't need anything. You want to be so self-sufficient. But again, the psychedelics, the entheogenics, they teach you this stuff. They show you, hey man, if you do not surrender, we're gonna fuck you up. Life's gonna eventually fuck you up. You know, this worldly shit is cool, it's fun, it's nice, it's dope, but we gonna fuck you up, man. You know what I mean? But the validation aspect of this whole dynamic is very important, and the entheogenics, meditation, life experiences has allowed for me to pull away from needing that validation and just validate myself through self-love. Self-love is the cheat code to everything, though. Self-love, like I say, loving to bathe, loving to shave, loving to brush your teeth, wash your face, look clean, neat, and presentable. And it makes everything nice and easy to do. Because when you go out there in public, and when you go out there and you're dealing with people and you're out and about, most individuals, they're not, it makes everything easier when you focus on the energetic things, the things that are not seen. I call it being an energetic alpha. Things that people can't see. Like, you can't see smell, right? You can't really see energy. You can't see that when you walk into the room, you're affecting 20 different people, but you don't really see it. You know what I mean? You don't know that how you're holding your chin and how you're looking with your eye contact and how you're talking, the intelligence within your tone, the melody and the velocity of your voice, how it's affecting the individuals and the entities around you, and how you smell is so important, man. It is very important. There has been so many relationships destroyed because of smell and odor. Odor can make you mad. Even if I'm a good person and I come up to you and my breath smells bad, but I'm a nice guy. I give money away and I've donated and I've saved people. I fought for my country and shit. But if I smell bad and I look bad, it brings negative energy. So everything is energy also. But all that energy comes from the fact that you're loving yourself. So when you're smelling good, you're presenting yourself good, and you're learning, you're building your brain, your mind, your body, your spirit, this whole thing, this whole dynamic. You're not just focusing on this one thing, this one physical aspect of life. Because if we do, we'll lose, because eventually we got to decay and rot and die and leave, right? And then another thing, I know I'm all over the place, but we shouldn't fear the idea of death and leaving and dying. And a lot of people, they fear that because we're so attached to this lifestyle. But in all actuality, you got to realize I've been in so many experiences, man, where I don't think that when we die, we just die. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that when we die, we just die. I think that because I've been on experiences where I don't really tell people this stuff. Like when I would just take a lot of entheogenics, I can literally hear ancestors speaking with me, talking to me, encouraging me, telling me about things, telling me about life, giving me good energy, putting blessings on me through with certain types of languages. You know what I mean? I've seen it. I've experienced that shit, man. You know, I don't really talk about that kind of stuff because as you live in this world, I used to wonder how could people be so skeptical. But when you don't take psychedelics and entheogenics and this is all that you know, somebody starts talking about shit that I just said, like, hell no, what the fuck, this nigga's fucking crazy. But yeah, man, I don't fear death. Death is a gift, especially if you're living right. If you're living right, you're living good, you're living righteous, and you're showing self-love, and you're not seeking instant gratification. When it's time for you to leave this place, it is a gift. You know, it is a test and it's a gift. You know what I mean? So, and it's somewhat hard because of social things, social dynamics, human social dynamics, right? So, bro, don't fear death. Try to live a righteous life. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not perfect, man. I promise you, I'm not perfect, dog. Like a lot of people, they be thinking I'm just the shit, nigga. And I'm a dope ass nigga. I'm a fly ass nigga, man. But I'm not. I'm just like you, man. You know what I mean? And knowing that we have to try to live a life that in which, and we always going to make mistakes. We're always going to fall. We're always going to stumble. But you know, we get back up, and everybody's going to laugh at you. They're going to judge you. They're going to talk about you, and that's where that toughness comes from. That's where the self-love comes from. That's where the test comes from. And a lot of us, we fail the test, you know, because we're so ashamed, embarrassed. It's life, though. We're humans. We're in this fucked up system, man. We're in a fucked up system, and you expect to just come out this hole smelling like lilies. They threw you in a fucking sewer with a whole bunch of shit. How, you know, like, what you gonna do, dog? Like, what you gonna do? So, like I say, self-love, validation is very important, but if you can't do that, self-love is the key, man. But how do you get to self-love? I've taken a lot of entheogenic psychedelics. Ayahuasca has been the best thing for me personally. I like the mushrooms were good, but the psychedelics really gave me a feeling of heritage, of lineage, of race, of indigenousness. You know, it gave me pride in myself in a sense, but on and off, I stopped taking it just to, you know, fit in with society. You know what I mean? You know, try to be a part of the system. You know what I mean? But that has helped the most. And then on the back end, the cannabis, the feminine energy in the cannabis relaxed me so much that I can actually sift through all these experiences and actually say, okay, this is what I need to do. And the answer to everything is just self-love, you know. And the thing is, we don't have to worry about time. You know, time is going by fast, but as long as we have time to worry about loving ourselves. Make that be your goal. You know, that's going to be my goal. That should be everybody's goal. Just love yourself, man. And then you can never be sad. You can never be suicidal. You can never, nothing, if you just love yourself. You know what I mean? Practice. But that's the hardest thing. It's hard because you got to love to just dress fly, just to dress fly. To just be neat, just to be neat. To smell good, to do your hair, just to do your hair. To learn to read and write and read a book and be educated and talk and learn how to pronunciate and enunciate certain words and brush your teeth, wash your face, and clean your room and your face. Like all this stuff, you have to do it just because you like to do it, which is self-love. Like I said, it was so vague to me. People would always tell me that. I'm like, what the hell do you mean? So like, how do you do that shit? But that's it. And the only way that you can do that is by depacking all the shit that has been taught, like all the shit that has been taught to us via the society that in which we reside. It's fucked up bullshit to make us slaves to ourselves, really. So they didn't do anything to us. We did everything to ourselves, except for just being born into this world. But after you get a certain age, you start doing things to yourself. They just manipulate. They just put that $100 bill out there, that $200 bill, that $1,000,000 out there. Hey, you want that? You want that? I'm not looking, but you got to do this for that, or you got to stop trying to do what you like to do just for that. You know what I mean? And, but like I say, man, it's all about self-love and enhancing like this dope ass fly ass energy. And time stresses us out about what we should do, what we shouldn't do.